My name is Lance Plus, and today we're going to be discussing what makes the world of Monster Hunter so special. I've been dreaming of making this video for a really long time, and I recently got that itch to go on some hunts, so I figured now was a great opportunity to talk about one of the most unique universes in gaming. Monster Hunter holds a very special place in my heart and has since the good old PSP and 3DS days. I'm certainly not the only one completely in awe of what the world of MH has to offer, as millions of others around the planet go on hunt after hunt, searching for those coveted carvings. We all hunt for different reasons, of course, but I find myself coming back time and time again because of the ecology that is conveyed through the environment and the creatures coming together to create some of the coolest scenery in video games that you will ever be blessed enough to put your hands on and become a part of. With that being said, sit back, relax, and enjoy these beautiful sights and sounds. Welcome to the world of Monster Hunter. Fourteen distinct weapon choices are present as soon as you begin a fresh run of any Monster Hunter game from Monster Hunter 4 to Rise. Everything before Monster Hunter 4 will provide you with a nice arsenal to choose from, but it wasn't until Monster Hunter 4's release that we gained access to the 14 weapons that we know and love today. What are those 14 weapons, you ask? Well, we have the Great Sword, Longsword, Dual Blades, Sword and Shield, Charge Blade, Hammer, Switch Axe, Hunting Horn, Lance, Gun Lance, Insect Glaive, Bow, Light Bowgun, and last but not least, the Heavy Bowgun. All of these weapons provide a unique perspective on combat and what it takes to conquer a monster. Each weapon has a distinct playstyle, some having far more weight in each swing than others. A weapon such as the Insect Glaive rules over the skies, while the Longsword is more focused on fast attacks and slicing off monster tails. My personal favorite being Great Sword, because nothing is more satisfying than shoulder tackling a monster and watching them flinch. I will say that Charge Blade is absolutely one of the more unique weapon designs amongst the roster. Charge Blade consists of a hefty sword and shield that can be combined to create an extremely large axe. This weapon is pretty special because it uses something called files that become charged when you combine your sword and shield quickly to essentially load or reload your charges. These files can be used to upgrade your shield defense or sword damage. File charges can also be spent on a devastating heavy attack that shifts your sword and shield into axe mode, delivering a thunderous attack upon your enemy. Jumping from Charge Blade over to Dual Blades provides two completely different game experiences. Dual Blades provides precise quick attacks with nice mobility. You can also access a power called Demon Mode. During Demon Mode, the Dual Blades do more damage and movement speed increases at the cost of depleting stamina. Demon Mode also introduces new moves into the kit. While attacking in Demon Mode, the Dual Blades meter will increase, which grants players a new mode called Archdemon Mode, which is basically a stronger normal mode. Attacking during Archdemon Mode depletes the meter, and when the meter is empty, the player has to fill it up again. This cycle is insanely fun to play around with, because you'll be slipping, sliding, dodging around like nobody's business, and twirling around the monster's spine. It's crazy. Dual Blades is a really good time. I won't touch on all the weapons here because that would take quite a while and I want you to go and make some discoveries on your own, but I did feel it was necessary to highlight the finer details of some of them for you. Weapons aside, the armor sets you get to forge are beautiful. Now, I will say, when it comes to Monster Hunter World, the armor sets have become a blend of metals and monster materials, where in previous titles the gear sets have a more organic look, as if they just took the carvings directly and molded some armor with the monster's scales and nothing else. Very high fantasy looking. MHW certainly still retains this style with certain sets, but I did notice the shift towards more metal-based craftsmanship within this iteration. Whenever I see some of these armor sets, I just can't help but think of the character designs from Golden Knight Garou and things more commonly known to us over here in the West, Power Rangers. The aesthetic influence definitely makes sense with Capcom being a Japanese-based company. As you can see, Monster Hunter provides a plethora of gear sets, which are encouraged to be mixed and matched to get a crazy amount of build variety going. Everything looks stunning as far as armor and weapon design goes, but that point stands true across the board for all MH games, as they all have a very charming art style. With all that being behind us now, allow me the pleasure of introducing the true stars of this show. Let's take a look at some of the remarkable creatures living amongst the lava beds, waterways, dunes, and so much more. The monsters that are a part of these sprawling ecosystems are not only really cool to look at, but they provide you with a very fun gameplay loop every single time you go out on a hunt. From the way they walk around the environments to the small movements they do with their heads when they're angered, you can tell a lot of love and care was put into designing these creatures. The amount of nuance in the demeanor and attitudes of these beasts are a testament to how amazing the teams behind these games are. Every monster exudes so much personality, whether it's conveyed through a cutscene that is displayed on your first introduction to that creature, or it's just the hunt itself. You will always see the monsters constantly acting out these very grandiose looking gestures in a fit of rage or just laying down and taking a little nap. Whenever I see Rajang or a furious Rajang, I just get a sense that the monsters truly have their own emotive wheel to choose from, just like we as players do. It is a really nice layer of immersion that I think a lot of other games could benefit from. The enemies at the end of the day come down to how well they are designed, not on how cool they may look. If your creatures look awesome, but is boring to fight, you have truly lost the battle. Monster Hunter has always understood this objective, and I hope they continue this good thing we have going on here. The small creatures get just as much care and design as the larger beasts. Seeing the monsters interact with the world is just an amazing experience. Seeing them interact with each other is even crazier when it comes down to turf wars. In the middle of a hunt, you can have a rogue monster creep up, and as soon as your current foe makes eye contact with the rogue fellow, it's party time. Sit back, relax, sharpen your weapon, maybe eat a little meat stick, and enjoy the WWE-fueled spectacle that takes place with these two forces of nature. Turf Wars is a feature that came along with Monster Hunter World, and I think this one feature elevated the whole entire series to the moon and back 50 times over. You will never get tired of seeing these massive creatures trading hits. I promise you, easily one of the coolest things on Earth. MH is a Super Sentai kaiju infested masterpiece, if you ask me. And since I've been going on about the monsters and how unique they are, I feel it's only fair to give you guys a peek at the lands that they do their business upon. To the hunting grounds we go. We could speak about the gorgeous visuals that are presented to you throughout your hunts, but I feel like the game can speak for itself on that one. What I would really like to begin with is the magnificent soundscape that you just get to become a part of. Walking through the ancient forest in Monster Hunter World can be both tense and soothing. The pitter-patter of rainfall on occasion, joined by the footsteps of the hunters making their way towards their prey. The distant sounds of insects buzzing and birds chirping away brings in another layer of that sweet, sweet immersion. When you finally track down your prey, the roar that overtakes the calm environment that surrounds you while all the other wildlife shuffle out of your way It's just blissful to experience. Going on a fresh hunt doesn't feel like you're loading a level. It feels like you're walking into an already established living, breathing world. This, to me, is really special. I can boot up Monster Hunter and not hunt a single monster. Just boot up the game and run around gathering materials from honey to flash bugs, and I'm perfectly at peace with that. The lands have their own voice, and the creatures get to add their own spice into the song of nature that they come together to create. As I said earlier, I do believe the visuals speak for themselves, but let me carry on for a little bit, alright? The skybox of MH games is always quite special as they convey a very whimsical feeling to me. Monster Hunter Tri in particular had me in awe throughout the process of making this video with the way they made the night sky so vibrant and just gorgeous. When I saw a shooting star pass through the sky during a gathering mission, I just stopped, put the controller down, and enjoyed the scenery. Very few games provide this fantastical coziness, if you would like to deem it as such. The sprawling trees that reach for the stars, the vast dunes holding a little oasis filled with monsters, the verticality of these environments, coral highlands in particular, it's just astounding. This is what over a decade of world building looks like, and I really do find myself feeling blessed that I am able to take part in these amazing experiences. Imagine if Socrates was fortunate enough to be in this time and experience Monster Hunter or Elden Ring. It would knock his little philosophical socks off, I guarantee it. Jokes aside, I can go on about this for hours, but it's time I spoke a little about some of the systems that are at play inside this world. Let's get into something I mentioned very briefly earlier, the gameplay loop. Every single game has a gameplay loop, whether it is a single player linear action game or a massively multiplayer online game. Everything abides by their own gameplay loop. With that being said, what is Monster Hunter's gameplay loop? Well, as the game's title suggests, we are indeed here to hunt monsters, but let me give you a peek on what you are able to do in between those glorious hunts. First of all, you can take the carvings you gain from the monsters you kill and create armor and weapons for yourself and your Palico and Palamute companions. Do note that Palamutes are specific to Monster Hunter Rise. Alongside crafting, you can tend to a small farm of sorts to cultivate your own herbs that can be used for ammo coatings or just good old potions and whatnot. A lot can be done with your crafting materials if you just pop open the respective menu. Apart from crafting and tending to your crops, you will have access to a personal quarters to relax, change your gear sets, and even place some of the smaller insects and animals you capture as decorations. That being a feature added into Monster Hunter World. For all of my fighting game fans out there, we do have a lab of sorts that you have access to so you can become adept with any weapon of your choosing. The training room even has small options so you can change some of the room's obstacles and training dummies. Alongside all of that stuff I've mentioned already, the Meowcenary system, or mercenary system, allows you to send out your companions on gathering missions to collect both monster carvings and plants for you to use whenever they return from their journeys. Most MH games have optional quests that can be completed via communicating directly with NPCs or the bounty board. These missions normally reward you with equipment ranging from Palico gear to certain accessories you normally wouldn't have access to craft. Recipe creation for cooking is also an option as well. Eating is essential when it comes to your hunt preparations. You can either use a preset meal or combine a bunch of materials to gain a specific set of buffs for yourself and your feline/canine counterparts. Monster Hunter certainly has a variety of systems to keep you engaged for a really long time. When you're done engaging with all those little systems, you can run right back to the hunt board and get to it. The hunt board provides you with quests that are ranked via a star system. Each star denotes how difficult the hunt will be. Low rank versions of these quests will be available to new players, and the high rank quests become available after completing low rank, of course. G rank, or master rank, is also available in their respective games, normally being put into the expansion content of each game. A story is loosely tied to the starred quests on the hunt board, but it wasn't really until Monster Hunter World where that became a focal point. You have quite a bit to do inside of the loop of an MH game, but Monster Hunter is nothing without its hunters. So I figured doing a little community comment showcase would be nice so you guys could see some outside thoughts and opinions other than my own. So I present to you the words of my fellow internet lads. Disco Monkey 007 had this to say.
Other than it is a great game in general, I love that they still kinda try to make sense of the monster's ability on top of the great design. As someone that's into speculative biology, it is much appreciated.
Native Alter made a comment on the 14 weapon choices that I thought summed up things perfectly. They said playing a new weapon feels like playing an entirely different game. I like 14 games for the price of one. Rat Music Enjoyer, a very fitting name for a hunting horn player, if I might add. They had this comment to share on the progression of skill triumphing the difficulty of the game. It was the first game that really challenged me that was fun enough for me to stick with. Fighting Bareth for the first time at MH3U and watching my health bar get annihilated by his charge attack was exhilarating and panic-inducing, and it feels just as good coming back to that game and tearing him apart, and the only change being the level of knowledge and experience I have. I gotta go back and replay MH3U soon. Yabanjin wrote of both the fun and comfort that comes alongside a truly special experience. It helped me make friends in other countries, and it gave me combat I had never seen before with depth that was unbelievable. If you really know Monster Hunter, what other game gives you enemies with the depth of these games that is not PvP? Monster Hunter World was there when I got diagnosed with a life-threatening disease and kept my mind off of dwelling about what could happen. That alone makes it the best game ever. But to combine that with my friends taking down Fatalis, and you have a moment of a lifetime. Jiggle boners. They spoke on why they love the art direction of Monster Hunter. The art direction does it for me. It hits a sweet spot between my love of steampunk and my love of the natural world, and it does it without feeling over-designed, for the most part anyway. I think it should be pretty clear at this point that Monster Hunter is something that not only I, but many others would highly recommend. I appreciate everyone that took the time out to go and drop a comment on this Reddit post I made asking about what makes MH so special to them. If you'd like to go and read more from the community, a link to the Reddit post will be in the description of this video. I'll definitely be implementing this little community corner for the future videos, so be on the lookout for a rogue Reddit thread from me every once in a while. So, that is the wonderful world of Monster Hunter. I hope you guys enjoyed this look into the hunting realm. Let me know what your weapon of choice is and why down below. I'm intrigued to see what kind of hunters you guys are. As usual, if you want to find me off of YouTube, my Twitter, Twitch, and Discord are all linked below. I even put my Steam account linked down there if you guys want to go on some PC hunts, so let me know. I'll be streaming some hunts and other games over on Twitch at Lance Plus, so come chill out with me over there if you feel so inclined. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, night, or whatever the heck time it may be. And I'll catch you later. Peace, peace.